Hi, this is Rachelle, and this is The Backyard. It's a show that's bound to make you feel empowered, inspired, and uplift you to your highest level of greatness.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Backyard Chat with Rachelle. And today I am here with a wonderful guest called Kelly Hackney. Kelly, you know what? It's a pleasure for me to introduce her. I'm going to tell you why. During the pandemic, as most of you know, it's been really hard to get into conversation, find the right group of people to network with and really connect with. But I had the blessing to be able to connect with this wonderful human being through this app called Clubhouse. I'm South Florida. She's somewhere in the Midwest. Yet we were able to get into community and build this amazing, amazing relationship that led us to some collaboration and even, doing business with one another. And her story is so inspiring. And as you guys know, the Backyard is all about bringing inspiration, motivation, and empowering you, the listeners, to take action in your life, to know that you too can become the greatest version of yourself if you just take the time to dig deep and take the right step with the right alignment. So without further ado, I will introduce you to my wonderful guest called Kelly Hackney with Caffeinated Kelly.
Hi! Cheers! Yeah,
cheers! Kelly, how are you? I did my best introducing you, but I think you would do yourself more justice to really share with us your journey to this wonderful business that you have established. You are a marketer. You have several years of marketing behind you, but yet you have made a decision in 2020, in the midst of it all, to take a different trajectory in your career and creating your own business. So introduce yourself. Who are you? What are you about? And why do we want to know more about Caffeinated Kelly?
I think I need to have you come with me every time I speak somewhere. That was beautiful. So thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Kelly Hackney, the owner and founder of Caffeine with Kelly, which is a marketing strategy firm driven by my love of coffee and positivity. And I show up every day saying that I get to spread joy one cup of coffee at a time through my marketing knowledge, through my inspirational speaking, and through serving in fun ways like this. So that's why I'm here today, and I'm so jazzed about it. Thank you so much, Rachelle.
It's amazing. Kelly, so let's get deep. You have been doing marketing for a little while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, and you have made a decision at some point during your journey to say, hey, you know what? I want to do it for myself. I no longer want to work for a company. I have what it takes. I have the skills. I have the professional bandwidth to be able to do it. I'm going to do it. How did that come about? And how are you doing with it thus far?
Yeah. So, before the pandemic hit, I graduated from college and I went from career in marketing to a different marketing sector, to a different marketing sector, to a different marketing sector. And where I landed was at a not-for-profit. And I was so excited. There was women in leadership. I knew I would be able to grow and flourish there. And long story short, that just wasn't the case. And it was a lot of like, well, that's not how we've always done it. So we can't take on your new ideas or take on your new strategies, which is okay because it was working for them. So in September 2020, so I had been working from home for 6 months or so once the pandemic hit. And I thought, you know what? It's going to get better. Like, I don't have to see my micromanaging boss every day. I don't have to feel squashed every day I walk into the office. It'll be great. And I think it actually got worse. And so in September, I remember I was at my sister's house, which is like about 4 hours away from me. And I had gotten off an awful call with my boss and boss's boss. And I just felt, I don't think I've ever felt more small in my life and more belittled after this conversation. And I called my fiance at the time and I said, you know what? I know we're not together, but I need you to look at the finances while you're at home and give me an actual time frame of how long I have. If I quit my job tomorrow, how long I would need before I absolutely needed a new one. So we crunched the numbers. We were on the phone for like 2 hours together, building different scenarios. And so in September of 2020, I quit my job without a plan B. And Caffeine with Kelly at the time was a blog of mine. It was just a fun, like, writing outlet. I don't even think it was live. Like, it was literally for me, just something for fun. And at that time I was so excited just to have something of my own where I could continue honing my writing skills and honing, you know, all the fun things that I was learning about marketing on the back end, and moving that forward into a different space. And at the same time, I had a couple clients that one of them was a gym. And so I was able to go to the gym for free if I marketed for them. Another one was a cafe. I got free coffee if I helped them with their social
Your favorite.
Literally, it was a dream. It was a dream. And I came home from my sister's after putting in my 2 weeks, and I was on the phone with one of my biggest mentors, and I said, you know what, I quit my job. It's middle of the pandemic. People are firing for marketing jobs. No one wants to hire marketing right now. They're firing them. They think they're an easy place to cut. So it's really tough for me, and I don't want to settle for just a job. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, you still have those little clients on the side, right? And I was like, yeah, they literally fill my cup. Like, of course I have those. Like, I'm not making $1 million, but for me to be able to still serve and still, like, keep my marketing knowledge fresh, I was like, they're amazing. And he goes, okay, why don't you do that? And my first thought was, no way. My mentor is an entrepreneur of like 30 years. I was like, no, are you kidding? Like, no way. And long story short, I thought about it. He's like, just think about it for a little bit. And I got off the phone and I thought about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, could I do this? I went to business school. Yeah. I've been in marketing forever. And I was like, maybe I could do this. And I walked into my husband's office and I said, honey, I'm really glad you're seated because I have something.
At that time you were still engaged, right? Or you were...
So in September we did, I quit my job. In October, we got married in our backyard, and I was still looking for jobs, still trying to figure it out.
Backyard, you love the backyard.
Exactly. And then in November, we ended up going to Mexico with like 30 of our closest friends and family and got married down there again. Okay. So this was in December. So we came back from all of that, and I walked into his office and I said, honey, I have this crazy idea. I think I'm going to take Caffeine with Kelly and make it into a bigger brand. And I'm going to serve clients individually, customized, and serve in the way that I want, like through light and joy and positivity. Mm-hmm. And he looks at me and he's like, yeah, of course you are.
You know, it's funny. Like, so I'm going to actually interject here because there's so many pieces that you brought up, and I really want to make sure that we don't miss these pieces that you brought in.
Hi, I am Rachelle Sylvain, and I'm happy to be able to interrupt this wonderful broadcast to talk to you about two major things. I want to let you know that my energy book is available to you, and I encourage you to check it out. Why? Because we all need to start the process of discovery. It is key to get to know who you truly are from the core, understanding what you want and why it matters. My energy can be found at my website, www.rachellesylvain.com. And it's a 7-step process to self-discovery. It's a do-it-yourself. If you don't know how to start your process, get this book. It will get you started. And if you want to talk more about it, feel free to reach out to me through the website, www.rachellesylvain.com. And the other great thing is that I have this amazing service available to you. I encourage you to check out my Power Boost. We all have moments where we feel down, unmotivated, stuck, cannot get clarity as to what we need to do and not having the creativity to continue our day. Sometimes we just need to let it out, talk to someone, try to shift our mindset and move through the day with more clarity and more positivity. I encourage you to check out my Power Boost. It's a 90 minutes where you will get unstuck, mind shift, and get a plan in place for you to continue your day and your activity the way you intended to. Don't hesitate, go out there and continue to watch it broadcast because it's meant for you to get inspired, motivated, and uplifted. Until next time.
So you said, it's what I hear from what you're sharing is the importance of having the right alignments, the right people around you, trusting that voice within you, right? And because it's reminiscent a little bit of one of the experiences I've had. And so I remember when I moved to South Florida, I started working in a hospital. And the idea of me moving to Florida was not for me to work. It was like, okay, I'll stay with the kids. But I didn't know how to do that because I've never been that person. So I still played around. I ended up getting a job in my field as a social worker. And there was a point where changes were starting to happen, where there were somewhat more demands, and my kids were about to switch schools. So I knew that I needed to do something sooner because I didn't have the support system to really help me out with kids and the pickup and the drop off and stuff. I had 2 toddlers at the time. And what's interesting, what you just said, is that I remember when it became clear to me that I have to leave my job. The changes that were occurring were not aligned with what my life trajectory looked like, and what I was able to provide. Because I purposely took that job knowing that certain things were not part of it, and it was changing to start having the things that I no longer wanted to do. Because I moved from New York and I was doing all these things, I no longer wanted to be in that lane. And I remember distinctly calling my husband and saying, "Hey, I'm going to have to make a decision here, and it has to be done sooner than I thought." So we did it on the phone. He said, "Well, if we do this, if we do this, if we do this, we could do this, we could do that, boom, 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 then we'll be fine." I said, "All right, great. That's all I needed." And I gave my resignation.
That was literally it too. Literally within like 20 minutes of getting off the phone, I was like, okay.
Yes. So it's really important for one to be able, it doesn't have to be a partner or a husband. It could just be a friend. It could just be a sounding board that you have, but someone that you feel confident enough or comfortable enough to be able to have this level of conversation with, that could lead you to that could help you make the decisions that best suits you where you are in your life at the time.
Well, and someone who knows you, right, knows what's really best for you. So when you come, they're almost like, yes, that's what we need to do.
And then for me at the time, I had just, in preparation, knowing that eventually I'm going to have to leave, I had just founded my non-for-profit. So I knew I was preparing for the inevitable, but it turns out I had to do it sooner than I thought. And then because I had to do it sooner than I thought, I had to have that conversation and so on. So it was just interesting that what you said. So that's the piece that I've heard. And then the piece is like the importance of having a mentor or someone you feel that has a level of knowledge that's greater than yours that can guide you in the path that you want to pursue.
Absolutely.
So it could be a mentor, it could be a coach, it could be just like a person that a trusting individual that has a knowledge base that could guide you in the path that you want to go through. So that's what I'm hearing. I think it's so crucial to have, because a lot of people don't know they need that.
No, and I think
tap into that.
Yeah, and so even like my mentor, I now have one of many, but this specific one was a vendor of mine in one of my past careers. And he had seen my potential. He's like, "I don't know why you're stuck here." And so kind of just started like molding me into just my greater purpose. And it took a few years. And when I finally was on the phone with him, he was like, "You need to do this." Yes. And so to have someone who, he doesn't live anywhere near me. I've only met him like twice in person. He lives in like New England. And so he's amazing, but usually we're on the phone. And so to be able to get off the phone with him being like, okay, he knows me really well. He knows my skill sets. he's obviously been an entrepreneur for a long time. I'm going to go tell this crazy thing to my husband. And he straight up was like, yeah, my husband was like, yeah, of course you're going to do that. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? Yeah. I've been struggling for months to figure this out. And he was like, no, you had to figure this out on your own. You had to come to this, right?
How has it been working for you now? So it's from what I know what I know. So I want you to just share what I know.
Yeah. It's one of those things where the second I just made the decision that I'm going to go full in, I'm going to be heart-centered, I'm going to be God first, and I'm going to do my business the way that I want to, like the endless possibilities are all over the place. And when I first started my business and literally when he said, let's go, I literally signed my LLC the next day and we started. And so that's where it's been like almost it'll be 2 years in December. And for me, literally the best choice. Like now I think I wish I did this 5 years ago, right?
But everything in due time, right?
Everything is in due time. Yeah, I wouldn't be the same person today if I would have done that. And so long story short, to be able to show up online and show up and be authentically you and be on Clubhouse and meet people like you and dozens of others that I've met that are now in my circle of just really great people. It's been a blessing, like you said. And I think for me, obviously those of you listening, I sound really young and I sound like I'm 7 at times, and that's okay.
Can you share the story, the conversation we've had about your voice?
My parents will, when I go home, if a telemarketer calls, they will actually have me answer the phone and say, Mommy and Daddy aren't here right now. And then the telemarketer goes away, and so every time I speak, especially on stage, that's like one of the first things I say is, I am well aware that I sound like I'm a little girl, but we're going to giggle about it and move forward because I have really important things to tell you. So with that, I was terrified to join Clubhouse because it is audio only. I've always done awful like in phone interviews because I'm like, they probably think I'm totally uneducated. And and so in Clubhouse, I just decided to embrace it. And I'm like, you know what else do I have to do? And because of that, one of my very first clients heard me on maybe week 1 or 2 of being on Clubhouse. She's still my client today because of my voice. She came and found me and said, you sound like one of my best friends growing up and I need to work with you. And amazing. She's recently flown me out to go meet with her in person and work with her in person. And so for me,
that's amazing.
Yeah. I think the day I realized I'm made for this, I can be authentically me and still show up and pray out loud and have this tiny voice, but a big mission. Everything just started opening up and it's been beautiful.
I remember you and I had a conversation. I said to you, yeah, your voice may be tiny, but that lion is inside you. And I'm seeing that lion come out. So don't be
Lion Queen over here.
I've seen that lion come out and you are assertive when you need to be. And your voice comes through like within that softness, but your true voice comes through in a way that is demand to be heard. Like it's like you're gonna listen to me and you have authority behind it. So
thank you. Yeah.
And we've spoken about that several times. Like, Kelly, that lion is in there. I've seen that lion come.
And it's tough. Yeah. There are times when I'm like, you know what? I got to put my CEO pants on today.
I've said it several times and I continue to do it. And this is another reason why you're part of this show is how much affection, love that I have for you. And
it's likewise.
I've always been, from the time we've met, I've always been the person that's in the back seat watching, right? And I've always said to you, I say, yeah, I've been paying attention and I pay attention a lot. That's who I am. And I see that line in you and I see where it's going. And you are such an inspiration for the younger generation. Though you're not 2, you're not 3, you're not 4, but you're still very young, right? And considering like so many other women out there, young girls out there, can actually get inspired and get empowered through your story and what you're doing to be able to make that leap, because we're often stuck on what we think we know and what we're being told to do.
Right.
And realizing that you have what it takes. You can, and you can start today. It doesn't have to start 10 years after you've had the experience. If you believe in what you believe in, if you trust what's being generated within you, and you connect with that passion and that purpose within you, you can actually move mountains. You can actually have a great impact, and you are having it. You are having it. I mean, things have changed for you. So tell me, what are any obstacles you have experienced through that process, and how did you how did you move past it?
Absolutely. So I'll, I'm one of those people where my dad's a CFO and an accountant. And so like numbers are not my thing. Okay. Like there are things really early in my business career, knowing that I need to hire an accountant and I need to be okay with that. Right. I need to like give that up to someone. The many mountains I have climbed backwards with, 100 pounds on my back have been around boundaries. I have one client that is in Philadelphia, and she's always like, I know you're from the Midwest, but you don't have to give everyone everything all of the time. And so for me, I've been trying really hard as a business owner, but also like just being who I am, which is really generous and really kind, and try to find that line of where am I going, where it's like too far, where I'm taking advantage almost of myself, and I'm not sleeping, and I'm overworking to get more things done and completely over deliver, and where that line is. I think boundaries are really, really important in a business of literally any kind. And I was speaking to college students the other day, and I wanted to stress how important it is that failure is a good thing. And especially in a business, like when you get comfortable with failing, because you will every day, something will go wrong, but you take it and you write notes and you learn from that and you grow so that you're able to kick butt next time. And you know what not to do. Sometimes knowing what not to do is priceless information. And you have to kind of go through some sludge, and you have to fail and then have a pity party and then go grab a new cup of coffee and start again. That's okay. And so I wanted to stress that too, because I think I've only been in business for like a year and a half. And I started journaling because I wanted to make sure that I could remember things, the good, the bad, the ugly. 10 years down the road, I wanted to be able to grab my journal and be like, oh yeah, on that day. Oh yeah, that client. Oh my goodness. I wanted to remember these things, all the good and all the bad. And I think as a younger person, I wouldn't be where I am today without my drive. I think that's part of it. You have to have your why that's like so deep that like when you tell people, it like hits them in the core.
Yes.
What is waking you up in the morning? And I think that's one thing as a young person I have just sat with, and I've thought about and gone deeper and deeper, because it has to be so deep and so beautiful that if, a meteor came and hit my house, I was still going to go towards my why, regardless of what happened.
Kelly, and I'm going to actually bring this up because I think it's so important. So not that I want to get stuck on age or youth or generation, but I think it's very important that piece comes through. The other piece that's so authentic with you that comes through in everything you do is your faith. So I don't even need to ask you what keeps you grounded, because I know I have goosebumps saying it too.
I don't want to cry on your show today, Rachelle.
No, because it's important. You know what it is? One of the goals of this show is really, again, the empowerment, uplifting one another, and give each other the crown that we so deserve. And you deserve a crown. So, and the fact that you're so connected, you're so true to who you are. You are true to your faith. You're true in the way in which you practice and what comes first. The alignment that you have is what I believe is making you the success that you are today, and the success to come. And so talk to me a little bit briefly, and maybe two, 3 words, how that has played like that role, and how did you get comfortable enough to embrace your faith in all that you do and how you show up, because you show up faith first. That I know for a fact.
Yep. I'll make this quick, but especially my journey has been really windy to get to entrepreneurship. And so I always say from the very day one, I always said, God bless the broken road that led me here. And so from day one, it was always God first, because he knows my heart. And without getting too emotional about it, there are almost every single day, I take a moment and I'm quiet and I pray and I read my devotional, and I get so just in stuck of like a gratefulness for like where I am. And I think that's really important too. If you're out there and you haven't done like just a gratitude, even if it's one word gratitude every single day, it uplifts you from the second you wake up to the second you go to bed. I try and do it both in the morning and at night, and just think about what is coming to mind and what I'm so grateful for. And sometimes it is that my coffee, I didn't have to buy a coffee today and I could make it at home and I was able to work, 5 minutes earlier, or my husband brought me coffee like this morning, which was really kind. Gratitude comes in many forms. And I think it literally starts with your faith. And when I talk about authenticity, it's to the core. And as a marketer, so many people are afraid to bring out some of those pieces of themselves because they want to conform of, well, this other coach is doing it like this, or, this other business owner has this. But think about all of the people that would align with you, because there's only one you. You were put here literally for one beautiful mission, and it is your job to fulfill that. And I truly, truly believe that every time you waste, just kind of adding stones to your own shoulders and shrinking yourself, you're not helping other people either. And I truly just believe that. And I think, honestly, there was just a day when I'm like, if people don't love me because I love Jesus, that's also okay. You know what? They're not my people, and that's okay. Because I literally cannot serve every single human on the planet, unfortunately. But the people that I do serve know who I am, and they love that, and they come to me because of all of my values and where I stand. So that's really important to me.
You truly are a gem. I share all the time. Kelly, we could stay here for hours.
Forever.
And we have done that. Can you give me a word of wisdom that you could share with the audience to take with them?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I would say, every single day, it's your choice to wake up and choose love and choose joy and choose happiness and choose courage. It literally just takes you flipping on that switch in the morning and saying, you know what, I'm going to show up as my best today because I want to make my tomorrow self proud. So it's one thing I could do today to make tomorrow Kelly proud. And that's how I like to live my life. And it could be something little as drinking one more glass of water. But if that is a way that I'm choosing courage to show up to make tomorrow Kelly better and proud, I do it every day.
Awesome. This was wonderful. Thank you so much, Kelly.
Thank you.
Such a wonderful conversation. Like I said, we could stay here forever to have more and more. And you're always invited to the backyard. And luckily for us now, I do it virtual. So, hey.
I was going to say, I'm just going to show up live, though, sometime.
You're going to get real baby around the corner. You never know. But it's been such an honor and a blessing to share this space with you and really to be in community with you. I am very blessed and more so proud to say you're part of my tribe, and it feels good to have you part of it. So thank you so much, because a lot of what I do today wouldn't happen if you were not part of it and that community that we have built. So thank you so much for sharing this moment with me today.
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hey, everyone. This was the Backyard Chat with Rachelle. This is a virtual series, and I had Kelly Hackney with us for the Caffeinated Kelly Marketing. And if you don't know, find out, because she is a force to be reckoned with, and she is so grounded. And one of the things we have learned through our conversation, that she made sure she emphasizes the importance of showing up authentically and embracing your gifts and embracing your faith, and how important it is to always show up as the real version of yourself and trusting the gifts that you have, because she did that. And that's why she has been in business for the past year and a half and thriving in it. So if we can do it, you certainly can do it too. So don't sit on your intentions, take action and move past it. Be the version of yourself that you are destined to be. Don't hesitate. Ask for help. There are people out there willing to guide you, to push you, and keep you accountable. The decision is yours. Without further ado, this was the Backyard Chat with Rachelle. Until next episode, thank you for sharing the space with us.
Hi, this is Rachelle, and this is The Backyard. It's a show that's bound to make you feel empowered, inspired, and uplift you to your highest level of greatness.